something one wants and it's not to their interest. There is the story when a poor man, a pauper, asked Musa ibn Amr, Prophet Moses, that ask Allah, why am I poor? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Moses, it's not in his interest that he is rich, but now that you've interceded, then I will make him rich.
قاتل لواحد يريدون يقتصون منه يقتلوه شافه هو هذاك الفقير هسه هل الفقر اللي كان يتعبه كان من مصلحة الدنيا وآخرة ولا؟
Then one day Moses saw someone, people wanted to kill him, and he said why? He said he had murdered someone. When he looked, he realized that he is the person who was poor. So it was in his interest to be poor and not to get in a state where to commit such a crime. There's a dispute about this. Some scholars have given fatwa, some have given precaution that one should do ghusl and then perform salah.
طهارة حدثي كجهل قصوري باشه كجهل تقصيري باشه كنسيان قصوري كنسيان تقصيري باطلة نماز روز صحيحة أما نماز بدون طهارة حدثي باطلة.
So if one doesn't have wudu, then it's not in his sort of wudu and performs namaz, it's batil, regardless of whether he's forgotten or he thought he had but he didn't and so on.
واحد يستأذن من فقيه جامع الشرات ما يخالف ما يخالف.
If one seeks permission from fully qualified faqih, then there's no objection to that.
نعم. وعليكم السلام. موفق إن شاء الله. الكلمة للمبلغين وغير المبلغين من الواجبات الكفائية.
Is for those preachers and those who are not. There are many wajibat, obligations, which are kifai, which if they reach sufficient state, then it will be sufficient, and it will be weighed for others. So one must endeavor to do that, whether it's about the doctrine, Islamic doctrine, or the Islamic rulings for various acts of worship. It's important that people preach about these and convey the message to all people. In fact, this has turned into wajib aini, which is obligation for everyone, because it hasn't reached the level of wajib kifai. So it hasn't been sufficiently broadcast and conveyed to the masses. Same. One should talk about the deviant groups. Okay.
مشهور فرمودن که
It is well known that Subh prayer is not made qada until the sunrise. As for Dhuhr and Asr, it becomes qada when sunset. As for Maghrib and Isha, there is a difference as to whether they will become qada at midnight. Otherwise, Subh prayer and Zuhr and Asr, it becomes qaza at these times. Yes, it's makruh. It's makruh to delay namaz al-subh and to when thing becomes red, the redness of the sun becomes about, which is about half an hour before sunrise. It's makruh, is discouraged, but it's not haram.
نه ببینید غروب شمس یعنی غروب که خورشید از افق میره پایین.
Sunset means when the actual sun goes below horizon. But when it comes to the time of namaz maghrib or a breaking of fast, delay a little bit. So let it become dark a little bit. So which is defined as the delay should be until the redness of sunset disappears from the middle of the sky, which is about a quarter of an hour or 20 minutes after sunset. It is at that time which is the time for Maghrib Salah. The narrations attributed to the Imams from on the authority of Mukhtar. It's not established that they are all valid. And there are narrations which are positive and negative against him, against Mukhtar, or in favor of Mukhtar. My late brother has written a book about Mukhtar. He, in that work, that Mukhtar was good and his movement was good. So both type of narrations, whether in favor or against Mukhtar, they're all marasil without sanad. So if you get hold of that book, it will be good because there are some good information about the case in that work. As I said,
واحدة منها مو معتبرة لا سلبا لا إيجابا.
all the narrations all the narrations about Mukhtar, whether in favor or against him, they're not going to be established as we don't have chain of narrations for them. Therefore, so we can't rely on those narrations, whether in favor of him or against him. And my late brother, who's published a book about him, he opts for, he concludes that Mukhtar is good and his movement was good as well. And there is a narration. So there's one narration which is against Mukhtar, and there is one in favor of him. And both are without chain of narrations.
نه یعنی بیش از این پیداست. معناش همینه وقتی که داره قولی یعنی این مقدار رو بگو دیگه حرف نزن. بگو من روزم حرف نمیزنم. همین این مقدار رو بگو.
When it says قولی, when it says say I am fasting, that means say this and no more than that. This is the case about Lady Mary alayhi salam.
بله یعنی دست برسه به زانو. نه این حد رکوعه.
And in ruku',
شرعاً در رکوع چقدر واجبه که دلا بشه؟
how far one has to bend down.
به زانو برسه.
It is such that if one wants to place his hands on his knees, he could reach to his knees. One of the mustahabbat that one puts his hand on his knees. So he should bend to that extent, even if he doesn't put his hands on the knees. So placing the hands on the knees is not wajib. We have narration in this respect and the conduct of the Ma'sumin alayhi salam in this respect, which prove this point.
لا اکراه فی الدین یعنی تو دنیا نه عذاب آخرت. همین الزام اشکال نداره.
لا إكراه في الدين is in reference to this world, not in the akhirah.
قوانینی الزامی تو اون کشور هست یا نه؟ ملزمه به اون قوانین الزامیه. کسی که وارد اسلام شد، مسلمان شد، اسلامی قوانین الزامی داره. وقت باید ملتزم بشه.
So there is no compulsion in accepting Islam. But when one accepts Islam, then one is bound to the rules and regulations of Islam. So the Prophet the Prophet never compelled anyone, whether Jews or Christians or infidels or polytheists, or he didn't compel them to become Muslims. Not even a single person did he compel to become.
بگن باید بیای مسلمان.
So the Prophet never said that you must come, you must become Muslim.
جنگ کرده نه اسیر اومده پیغمبر رو نه ببینید اسیر کیه؟ کسی که اومده پیغمبر رو بکشه
War captive.
وقت گرفته شده
War captives
اهون شیئیه که پیغمبر اسلام با اسیر کرده. اسیر یا
are those
یا حبس میکنن یا شکنجه میکنن. پیغمبر اهون امر را با اسیر انجام داده. اسیر یعنی دشمنه.
war captives are those who came to kill the Prophet but they couldn't, and they fell captive in the hands.
زید رو بکشه نتونو زید گرفتش این الزامش میشه نه پیغمبر اهون امر را نسبت به اسیر انجام.
So when they caught, this is the least thing that they could do. They didn't torture them or they didn't kill them. So they actually had come to kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but and they failed, and they were caught by the Muslims. It's like someone who enters someone's house and they want to kill the house owner, and he's caught. He's arrested.
راجع به تأسی 5 قول نقل میکنه میرزا قمی. اصل در تأسی خود میرزا قمی میفرماد عدم وجوبه که عرض شد به نظر میرسه همجور که بعضی فرمودن اصل در تأسی وجوبه مگر دلیل بر عدم وجوب باشه، مثل که اصل در امر ظهور در وجوبه، اصل در نهی ظهور در تحریمه. وقت
Ta'assi, which is adopting as role model.
میرزا قمی در قوانین نه در فقه، اما بنابر مبنایی که اصل در تأسی وجوبه در عرض شده فرمودن که هر
Mirza
عملی
Qami in his book قوانین
فرمودن تو نماز تو حج تو
whatever act
اصل اینه که بگیم الزامه این
whatever act the Prophet did, whether in during Salah or fasting or Hajj, we're obliged to do that, and whatever conduct. And when it comes to ruku', for example, if they didn't place their hands on the knees, then that shows that we have the option for that.
نه ببینید احسن خود همون اطیع الله و اطیع الرسول ولو فرمودن ارشادیه. من عرض کردم تو این نوشته هام یه وقت هم عرض کردم تو نوشته هام هم نوشتم که کسی که ملتفت نیست به امر عقلی در اطیع الله و اطیع الرسول.
In the case of the verse,
برای اون ارشادی برای کسی که ملتفت به امر عقلیه بله
obey Allah and obey His Messenger.
خدا عقل را حجت قرار داده، اما اگر کسی ملتفت بهش نیست چرا نگیم الزامیه؟ چه اشکال داره؟ چرا نه؟ چه اشکال داره؟
Is it just for pure guidance or
ببینید اگه التفات نداره چرا نه؟
one should adhere to that fully.
ملتفت به حکم عقل چون دور لازم میاد امکان نداره تکلیف باشه، اما کسی که ملتفت نیست دور لازم نمیاد چه اشکال داره؟ هیچ اشکال نداره نمیگیم. بله عرض بله فرموده. معلوم، اما وقتی که قرینه هست از اون استفاده استحباب میشه عدم الزام. یعنی شما میخواید بفرمایید اصلا الزامی نیست تا ما دلیل بخوایم برای استحباب.
So you're saying that there is no obligation, so that we need a reason for it.
بله من دو تا عرض اینجا دارم یکی این که نسبت به اطیع الله
There are two things I would like. When it comes, obey Allah and obey His Messenger.
دور لازم میاد اما کسایی که و هم اکثر
If this is an
الناس
obligation,
ملتفت به این الزام عقلی نیستن چه اشکال دیگه داره بگیم برای
But if-
اونا چون برای اونا دور نیست
if people are not aware of this, then this becomes obligation for them. And the other thing is, when the ayah says, there is a good role model for you in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is this obligatory or recommended only? So and this being the role model in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, good role model for the people, is from this kind.
دور لازم میاد اما در اینجا لقد کان لکم فی رسول الله اسوه حسنه دور لازم نمیاد.
In the case of obey Allah and His Messenger, there is a
دور لازم نمیاد.
there is no role for it, but in the case of
بگیم تکلیف دور لازم میاد همونجوری که فرمودن ما گفتن ارشاده که من عرض کردم باید گفت ارشاده برای کسی که ملتفت.
this is only guidance for the people who are aware of it. If for people who are not aware of it, then it becomes obligatory. And in the case of the Prophet having a good role model, then this is apparently on the surface of it, it's obligatory, and it's not just guidance.
هر جا ببینید دور ممکنه عقلا یا نه. هر جا مستلزم دور شد میگیم ارشاد چون عقلا ممکن نیست. چی؟ نه عرض اینه.
Whenever there is a role for it, application for it, then we say this is for guidance.
که دور لازم میاد وقت عقلا محاله. کسی که ملتف چی؟ خب نه آخه عقلی که شرع عقل یعنی شرع اون کسی که الامر التکلیفی لا یبعثون عمل فعل چی میگید اونجا چی میگید؟ نمیخوام عرض کنم آخه عقل خودش شرعه. خدا
The intellect, when it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has two proof. One is the intellect and the other one is the sharia. So what do you say? It's not. What do you say about the role of saying? No, it's
نه لازم نبعد نه اتمام حجت ایجاد کرده نه بحث. به چه دلیل؟
No, they're providing proof.
حجت نه اعم از بحث. پیغمبر خدا صلی الله علیه و سلم نمی‌دونن منافقین امر عمل نمی‌کنن. اما برای اتمام حجت لا یکن للناس علی الله حجت.
But the Prophet knew that the hypocrites would not do this. It is to complete the proof, so that tomorrow they wouldn't say we didn't know. On the day of judgment, that is.
تو روایت در آخر قرآن در کنارش باید فرمایشات معصومین دید.
When we have the Quran, we also
قرآن همش ایجابیه. یعنی در جای روایت داره.
For the Quran, we need the guidance of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, and maybe when it says لعله, which is maybe it's all these maybes are for positive outcome. That it will definitely become. Not that maybe that we don't know whether one or the other. So it will always inclines to the positive points to the positive outcome. صلى الله محمد وآله الطاهرين.
وساعاتي المنايا بيك جادن على عين المنايا اغتنيتك مني وبعد هيها تريد يا ابني ويريد لي في معاني الفات يا سباح الكبد عودك في لاوي ومات وساعات